Hello everyone, welcome back. Severus here, coming back with a new part of deku Head Word Soul Magic. Now, let's just get right into it. As after Midoriya sees the devil heals up just from his heart that has a mouth on it. Everybody is terrified. They stand in front of the thing and Tokiyami said, "The heart of the devil, of course." The devil start chuckling, saying, "This is so amusing. What do you have for me, humans? Come on, I'm enjoying myself. Don't bore me." As immediately Lumiere said, "This thing is just toying with us. He's enjoying playing. Well, this will be his biggest mistake." As he said, "Do not give up now, heroes. We still have hope to victory." As immediately Lumiere keeps on attacking the thing with All Might, coughing a bit, saying, "Damn it, I'm reaching my time limit." Endeavor is getting heated up, and Aizawa just kind of standing there. Gran Torino is still gonna help All Might, and of course, Shirakuma also want to help as much as he wants with Kirigiri's quirk. The League of Villains watching this also just kind of standing there saying, Toga's like, guys, I don't know, but should we help them?" As Dabi said, "Be my guest, what are you gonna do, stab him?" As, Mr. Compress saying, "Well, he is right, but what can we really do?" As, of course, Spinner said, "Well, Dabi could throw fire at him." As Dabi said, "Hell no, as if I'll ever help Endeavor." As Mr. Compress said, "This is not the time for personal matters, Dabi." As Dabi said, "Personal matters, check our boss over there." Still moaning about and grieving about his master's death. As, of course, Toga's like, "Yeah, Shigaraki, can you stop this? We need you here." As Shigaraki just still looking down at the corpse of All For One saying, "Master." As Dabi said, whatever, we're gonna die all anyway, so might as well." As Dabi start, flying a bit, trying to throw fire on the villain by the side of Endeavor, as Endeavor looking down at Dabi before landing in front of him saying, Dabi said, "Hey, number 2, never thought I'll ever work with you." As Endeavor said, "The feeling is mutual, villain." As Dabi said, "Don't think that changes anything. Once this is all over, I'm gonna kill you." As Endeavor is wondering what the hell does this guy has on him. But regardless, the villains try to help the heroes as much as possible. On the other side, Midoriya, and of course, Midoriya, Nero, Tokiyami, and Bak are just standing there with Midoriya's like, "But how can we kill him if his heart is undestroyable?" As, Nero said, "I don't know. I just don't know." As Baku said, "Great, now we're just gonna fight here for eternity." As Tokiyami said, "There is a way we could defeat him." As Baku said, "And you know that all the time and you didn't spell it?" As Tokiyami said, "I didn't think it was real." As Nero said, "What is it, Tokiyami?" As immediately Tokiyami said, "Listen, that devil has a heart, and the devil heart is the most strongest part of him. It's indestructible, no matter what, or how strong the damage is dealt to it. The only way it could be destroyed is by another devil, or by a magic strong enough, or by somebody consuming it." As Nero said, "Consuming it?" Izuka said, "What are you talking about?" As Tokiyami said, "The devil heart is still a heart. It can be eaten, and it has the power of the devil. If it gets separated from the devil will simply cease to exist, and the person consumed its heart will have all of the devil's power and knowledge." As Midoriya said, "And what are you meaning by that?" As Tokiyami said, "If we can destroy his heart, and the magic of that prince is not strong enough to take him down, our best choice is for somebody to eat his heart. But it can't be anybody. It has to be somebody who has been tainted by the other world." As Baku said, "Where are we supposed to get that?" As Nero said, "I used curse, forbidden magic before, but not exactly tainted. As she continues saying, the same thing goes for Lumiere. He's also been touched by the other world, but his body doesn't have a stomach to digest anymore. He's just a statue. As they look into Midoriya as Tokiyami said, which means it leaves us with you. As Midoriya said, me? As Tokiyami said, you has to consume his heart, Midoriya. You're the only, he's been a part of you for the longest of time. Your body has been tainted not only by the other world, but by his magic too. You are the most, logical choice for this. If you consume his heart, the devil will cease to exist and will survive. As Midoriya said, but I don't know what to. As Bakugo said, oh, quit yapping and just do it already. As he, hit Midoriya on his back. As Midoriya said, alright, I'll try to do it. As, well, immediately, Nero said, I need to tell this to Lumiere. As immediately after which, the devil said, as everybody, get thrown away from him, as he said, you all are so amusing. Though, it's really getting on my nerves right now. Which means, how about I start using my grimoire? Let's see, what do I have here? As Lumiere said, he wasn't using his grimoire this entire time. Of course. As well, Nero flies by the side of Lumiere saying, Lumiere, we have a plan. As he said, huh, really? As the devil, while they are all just chatting, finally looks into them and said, word soul magic. As everybody getting a chilling feeling under their bodies, their spines grow cold as two portals open by each other's sides, and they see weird purple gooish thing going down from this portal, a cursed thing, as the devil continues speaking, saying, I just opened the door for this spell. It won't be long before it consumes everything in front of it, living and magical. As all of them just looking into the devil, before, Endeavor grabs as many people he could to get him into a higher advantage point. Mr. Compress used his quirk to compress himself, Spinner, the Magnet, and Toga, and of course Shigaraki, before Dabi just grabbed all of them and jumped up in the air on one of the, floating platforms. Midoriya again carried and everything. Everybody make their way into a higher advantage point, anything that is not the ground. After which, Mr. Compress decompresses himself and everybody just looking into the devil while looking down as Bakugo said, this doesn't look safe. As immediately, Lumiere, after listening to the plan from, Nero said, is that so? Is that so, Midoriya? As Midoriya said, yes. From what Tokiyami said, I could eat his heart and that would cease him to exist. As Lumiere said, understandable. My magic wasn't strong enough to take him down, especially without my grimoire. Which means we have to count on you. Please, lend me your strength, Izuku Midoriya of this world. As Midoriya just nods, and Midoriya said, just find me the opening. As Tokiyami said, alright. He also was avoiding my magic, which means I could help too. As Nara said, I can help you with that. As she put her hands on Tokiyami's back, and Tokiyami said, what are you doing? As she said, all of you here do not have grimoires, which means your magic isn't fully realized. But with my magic, I can possibly release your strength. As Tokiyami said, but if you do that, Dark Shadow, Bakugo said, it's alright, I'm gonna use my explosion to keep some light source, so your thing doesn't go out of control. As Lumiere said, you do that. Me and the rest of the heroes will gonna distract him. When we give you the opening, please, use your power to slash the villain open, to slash the demon open, to give us the chance to finally kill him once and for all. As Midoriya's getting ready for any moment for that plan to happen. The devil starts chuckling again while saying, as Lumiere said, you're having fun. toying with others as if they're your own toys, as the devil said. Quite frankly, yes. Especially you. I will enjoy killing you once I'm done playing, but as long as you entertain me, you're gonna be able to live. As Lumiere said, not for long. You may see us as just toys, but we are more than that. We're gonna be the ones to take you down. We will not let you be released on the world. As he said, all talk and no bite. How about you put those words into use? For example, as he uses one of his commands to attack Lumiere, but immediately headshot Dabi, Endeavor, and the, Gran Torino, with the help of course, Shirakuma, that's constantly being the support using his portals to teleport them all around, is helping them to keep them in distance and away from any damages. While Aizawa trying to kinda just keep the students safe, and Dabi is also helping by using his fire. Toga kinda just threw a knife at the devil, which she was like, crap. Regardless of which, after a while, immediately Nero finally done from releasing Tokiyami's power, as immediately his dark shadow grows stronger, and while Baku starts using even bigger explosions as dark shadow goes wild and vicious, before Tokiyami sends it on the villain saying Ragnarok, as immediately dark shadow goes in a flying speed into the giant devil, as immediately he slashes him, but thankfully he barely dodges it. However, in that moment when the devil sees the dark shadow attacking him, saying it's no use, as if I'll ever, as somebody jumps on top of a dark shadow and starts running up him, as he just see Shigaraki jumping, immediately launching onto the devil, saying you'll die, as he grabs into the villain, as the devil starts decaying before he uses one of his commands to blast him away, but his chest starts decaying. The devil using the command heal, but for some reason his healing factor is not as fast as the decaying that's pressed to him, with Dabi saying finally awake, as immediately Shigaraki said I'm gonna kill that thing, as after that Tokiyami using his power to immediately slashes on the villain, using his power and claws, chopped down the arm of the devil, which caused his spear to fall, and when Midori sees the spear falling, he immediately catches it, thankfully with his, one arm. After that, Tokiyami calls back on Dark Shadow, and immediately Nara said, alright, now, as immediately Dark Shadow grabs Midoriya and Bakugo and start flying with them towards the villain, as he's still trying to heal himself while saying, no, you can't do this, as he said, go back, as, Dark Shadow is being forced to go back, as then he tosses Midoriya and Baku into the air, with Baku holding Midoriya with one arm and with the other using, using explosion to fly them up, as he said, come on, we're not gonna be done now, you're dead, as after which the devil uses his command again to blast Baku away, but Baku using his power spins around and it goes like, go to hell, as he throws Midoriya away into the villain, saying, come on, Deku, don't you dare cause us to lose now, just eat his heart, as immediately Midoriya starts flying towards the villain. Immediately, Nero flies after Midoriya using her, broom to help him fly, as immediately the villain using some of the giant, worms to try and eat Midoriya and Nero, but thankfully Dabi and Endeavor blast flames on him, as Endeavor said, come on, we're gonna protect your back, as immediately All Might sees another worm as he uses a punch to throws it away and kills it, as he said, go ahead, young Midoriya, we're right behind of you, as All Might starts smoking heavily. A couple of seconds and he'll gonna use all of his strength and finally lose his form. Lumiere sees another worm we're about to come and attack them, but immediately he uses his power to slay the monster, as he said, our hopes and dreams are all on your shoulders. Please do not disappoint. As immediately Midoriya finally reaches into the villain, as finally he uses this trident and throws it into the heart of the devil right beside its body, which causes it to have his magic disrupted, giving Midoriya enough time to jump in front of him. But in that second, Midoriya almost fell. But thankfully, Nero was there to catch him up again, using her power to put her hand on his back, saying, "Come on, Midoriya, aren't you going to be the #1 hero?" As finally she pushed him. That little extra push that finally landed him on the villain, and Midoriya immediately digs his hand into the chest of the devil as he grabs his heart before jumping off of him and start biting into his heart, shoving it all down his throat, as the villain saying, "No, you can't do this. This is not supposed to happen. You all are inferior living forms. I can't be." As immediately Tokiyami catches Midori using his, his dark shadow. However, immediately throws it into one of the portals of Shirakuma, teleporting him to the side of Aizawa. As they just find Midoriya there, his body is completely covered in darkness. It's almost as if he's becoming a total black silhouette. The devil too is becoming that. And in another world, a totally red dimension, the devil is standing there saying, "How did I lose? No way. What happened? I had everything under control. As he hears a voice saying,
"No, you didn't. You were simply avoiding the inevitable."
As he looks above him to see a giant demon, a giant creature, as he said, You're the child, the human who I used. How dare you do this to me? You're my pawn,
Shut up. You maybe controlled me for so long, but it's time for you to have something taken away from you. A hero should not kill, but you're not a human, are you? So I'll make an exception. Die, loser. I don't want to see you ever again."
As the demons start disappearing, and Midoriya said,
"Goodbye, Zagred."
As he finally disappears. And on the outside world, Midoriya gets his arm back and his black silhouette all disappears. As, after that, all the heroes and the villains are standing in front of each other, with W saying, "So, what should we do now?" As to Mr. Compress saying, "Is it obvious? We can't do anything." As, they look into each other, and everybody just kinda doesn't know what to do. The villains are surrounded by the heroes, and Dub is overheated. Shigaraki is unconscious, and they can't expect Magnet and the rest to do anything, so they are arrested. After Grand Torino knocked them out all, and, Shirakuma used his warp gate to teleport them out of there, thankfully, after Nero used her magic to open the gate into the outside world. On the outside world, finally the hero sees all the others come out of the dark castle, right as the sun starts rising, and the dark palace immediately disappears, with everybody standing around. The heroes are just looking, the villains are being captured, and some of them are having their injuries getting, taken care of, before Midoriya and Lumiere and Nero are just standing there, alone, looking into the sunrise. As Lumiere said, "We finally did it. The devil have finally died, Nero." As Nero said, "Yes, my prince." As his arm fell off, and he said, "I guess it's time." While Nero said, "Lumiere," as he said, "It only was a matter of time before this happens. My body is crumbling, sadly." As Midori said, "You're gonna," as he said, "Yes. The years being sealed in a statue weren't so kind to me. However, I'm happy to be able to finally accomplish my job as the Wizard King. Finally put an end to that demon. This world is so beautiful. I managed to meet so much amazing people in such a short amount of time, but just looking around this place, as he uses his magic to teleport himself, Nero, and Midoriya to the top of a building, as he take a good look on the world, the sunrise and everything under it. He looks saying, "This world is so beautiful. I wish I would be able to stay here to even see what's going on here. But sadly, you can't have everything, can you? I'm gonna leave that for you, Sakurai. See the world for me. Enjoy this new world that you have. After all, you still have all the years to live in front of you. I'm sorry that I had to keep you all these years waiting," as she holds his hand and said, "Serving you and waiting for you were the best years of my life." As he said, "I'm happy to hear this," as he looks into Midoriya saying, "Izuku Midoriya." As Midoriya said, as Lumiere said, "I'm sorry that you had to go through all this trouble because of me. Because of my failure as a king, you had to suffer through all this nightmare and be a host of a devil. You are a good person at heart, I can see that. That way you were easily controlled. Those with the kindest of hearts are the easiest to be manipulated. But that's not a bad thing. It just means that you are a good person at heart. Someone who'll help others with a blink of an eye." As Midoriya said, "It's alright." As Lumiere said, "Yeah, I know. And that's why I need to ask from you a favor. I know I am in no position to ask this from you after all what I've done to you. But would you take care of Sakurai for me? Make her your responsibility. She needs somebody to count on. And you are the only one that I can trust with that task. After all, you and her have spent countless times together, right?" As Midoriya looks into him and said, "I promise to take care of her." As Lumiere's face started falling and said, "That makes me happy. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Midoriya." As he finally crumbles, as Midoriya looks into the air with her eyes staring up, as he said, "Nero? Sakurai?" As she started crying before, hugging him with her eyes filled with tears and just yelling with her voice so loud. Midoriya just give her a hug because she seemed like she need one. Really, really need one. Regardless of this is what I'm gonna leave it at. Guys, for some reason I can't do my outro. Fuck, I ruined the entire moment, but whatever. I really can't do the outro for some reason. Fuck. Anyway, just bye.